Wakelet is a free platform that allows you to save, organize, and share content from across the web and save into collections. This content can be online resources like links to web pages, blogs, YouTube videos. Really, anything that has a link can be added into your collection. It can also include offline content like text, PDF files, or something that you've uploaded from Google Drive, OneDrive, or your desktop. Fundamentally, at its core, Wakelet is a bookmarking site. It's a place where you can curate resources. You can then organize those resources, organize those bookmarks into collections. So you can have a collection that's just full of bookmarks, or you can add text and images and turn that collection into a story. You can invite others to collaborate with you on your collection and add items to it. And you can then choose to make your collection public and share it with others. The possibilities for how you might use Wakelet are endless. And what I'd like to do is share with you 4 different examples of how you might use Wakelet. So let's take a look at a few examples of what you might do with a Wakelet. So this one here is a collection of websites that I've curated that are all copyright friendly, that have websites that take you to copyright friendly photos and images. And so again, it's just a curated collection of different websites and a brief description here on what this collection is about. Another way that you might choose to use Wakelet, in this case, is an annotated bibliography. And so they might collect their research sources here and then include a text box right beside it to annotate the information and to provide some additional information about what it is that they have found. Another way that you might choose to use Wakelet is to use it as a newsletter. And so, again, you can add text around what it is that you want to share with your families. And so you can give a welcome message, let folks know what it is that you're doing in your class. You can showcase some different events. You can include images. You can include videos. And so this could be the method in which you share your class newsletters. And then the last example is possibly using it as a digital reading journal. And so what I'd like to point out in this particular one is that this was actually set up as a template to be shared with others so that they might not just springboard an idea, but rather than having to start from scratch, I can make a copy of this template, and I can do that by simply clicking on this copy button here. And the reason why I can do that is because the creator of this Wakelet set it up so that it was public and others had the ability to copy it into their own collection. And so if I simply click on that copy button, I can change or leave the title as is. I'll leave it the same, and it just copied it into my own collection. One thing I would like to point out here that you may have noticed is this little icon here, which is the Immersive Reader icon. Immersive Reader is built into Wakelet, which is a really helpful tool for accessibility purposes. And so if I simply click on that button, it jumps me right into Immersive Reader, and you can see at a glance that it increases the size of the font, it increases the white space, and then I've got some options in the upper right hand corner here where I can click on the text, I can change the size, I can change the color, I can increase the spacing. If it's important that I need to look at parts of speech, I could do that as well. And if there's a lot of text, I could alter the line focus to be 1 line, 3 lines. If this had more than 5 lines, I could choose that as well. I could turn that off. I can also translate it here and choose a different language if I would like to. So this Immersive Reader is built into all of the collections by default, which is a really nice feature, again, for that accessibility purpose. Now that we've looked at some examples, let's create our own collection from scratch. First, to get started, you need to go to wakelet.com and you'll need to sign in and create a free account. Once you do that, it'll take you to the image that you're seeing here, which is your dashboard. And so we're going to start out by clicking on that green button to create one. And so you need to give it a title. And I'm going to call this one Sketchnoting. You can add a cover image if you would like. And so in this case, I'm going to upload one from my desktop. And I'll wait a moment. I can increase it if I wanted to, or just leave it as is, and I'll say save. And at this point you can choose, do you want to have it as a full cover image, half an image, or hide it? I'm going to actually hide it because I don't necessarily want it visible right here. I want it to be shown as my thumbnail on my dashboard. If I come over here to the upper left-hand corner where the gear is, I can add a background image. And so this time I'm not going to upload one. I'm going to choose one from a library that's using some copyright-friendly images from Unsplash. And I'm going to just type in the word sketch. And as I look and I see, I like this one here. And that becomes my background. And I could add a description here. And so if I come here to some notes that I've previously taken, just going to copy that, come back over here and include that as my description. And so at this point now, I'm just going to simply be adding resources, and I can come in here at any time and add more if I need to. And so the first thing I'm going to do is, if I'm adding and curating resources to this collection, if this was a website that I felt was something I wanted in my collection, I can copy that link, come back to my collection, click on the plus symbol, and you'll see a variety of different ways that I could add items into this collection. But in this case, I'm going to just simply paste that link and my first item will be added into my collection. And sometimes it might take a moment for it to render, but it will be added. The next thing I'd like to add is a video, and I could do this a couple different ways. So if this was a video that I wanted to include in this collection, I could at this point click on the share button and copy that link, come back to my Wakelet, and I could do what I just did a moment ago and add that as a link. If I didn't have the link, I could come directly to this YouTube button here and I could do a search for Sketchnote, and that video that I'm looking for may come up, it may not, and it did indeed. So I will click on this one right here and add that one to my collection. The next thing I want to add perhaps is maybe something from Twitter, because maybe there's some people out there that are adding a lot of different resources or information. So you can add posts and things from Twitter as well. So to do that, just click on that plus button again, and this time I'll click on the tweets. I can search for a specific user if I wanted to, or I could do a search, in this case, by a hashtag, because I want to see what some folks have got going out there. And so I could scroll through here, and if I saw one that was what I wanted, and so this one here, rewiring your brain, yep, that's what I want. So I'm going to say plus and add that to my collection as well. And that gives us a few different things. I could click on the plus button here and I could just add some text. And I'll just simply say for right now, here is some information about sketchnoting. So I've got a few items in my collection at this point now, and now I have some decisions that I can make. I can choose to see what is my layout. How do I want it to look to the end user? So by default, it's in media view. If I want the compact view, it just tightens it up a little bit. If I want the grid view, that's where the example was for the annotated bibliography. And with any of these, you can move and reposition them. So you just simply drag and drop, and then you've got some arrows here too where you can move it up, you can move it down. And then the last one is the one that I tend to choose frequently, is the mood board, because it just spreads it out across the whole page and it puts it into that thumbnail view. So I'll leave it there for right now. And at this point, I have got my resources added. I'll probably add more at another point. But what I need to decide at this point, do I want to maintain privacy with this board, or do I want to make it unlisted where I could just share a link and the only people that would be able to open it would be those who get the link? Or do I want to make it public for everybody? And for the sake of example right now, I'm going to make it public for everybody, and then I'll say done. That takes me out of edit mode back to my main page here. And you'll notice there's that immersive reader. I didn't do anything to put it there. It's just there by default. At this point, I can leave it alone. It's in my collection, or I can invite others to be a part of this as a contributor. So if I click on this invite button up here, and you can share a link with them, and they will enter a name, and at that point they can contribute content to your collection, or you can do it via username or email address. If at any point you want to remove somebody from your collection, simply click on the Manage Contributors, and you would have their names, and you could click on the red X beside them to delete them from your collection. Once my collection is ready, I might choose to share it with other people. To do that, I can click on the Share button, and I can share it in a variety of ways. I can share it with any of the means that are displayed here. I can copy the link and share it via email. I can export it as a PDF, or I can copy the embed code and embed it into a web page. I'm going to click back on the Home button here, and again, you can see the different collections that I have here. Where you see this little globe are collections that I've made public. If you see this lock, that's a collection that's private. From the dashboard of our Wakelet homepage, there are a few additional features I'd like to point out. One is that Wakelet is more than just a curation of your own collections. Wakelet allows you to build a community around collections of interest to you, where you can follow people and you can add bookmarks to other collections. And so I can come up here to the search bar, I can type in a topic of interest, and different collections come up. I could browse through them. If I find one that is of particular interest to me, I might choose to follow that creator, or simply just click on the Save button and add that collection to my bookmarks. And so if I come over here now back to my dashboard, go to the left-hand column, I see the link for my own collections. I have a link here for bookmarks, and you'll notice the collection that was just added. I can also add it via a link. And then the group collections here, these are those collections where you are not the sole contributor to that collection. These are ones where you have invited others to be contributors. The last thing I'd like to share is how you might choose to organize your collections. The view that you're looking at right now is my personal dashboard. This is not visible to the public. And so what you can see on the left here is that I have 20 collections, but keep in mind some are public, some are private. I'm going to go to my profile, and this is the view that the public would see. And so right now I have some collections, but they're not in any particular order. They're just one large group of collections. So I want to change that. I'm going to click on the Edit Profile, and again you can see they are uncategorized. I'm going to add a couple of sections to get them organized. And so one of them I'm going to add is I'm going to say Making and STEM. And the second one I'm going to add is Tech Tools and Resources. And I can always come back in here and add additional topics and sections, or I could delete them as well. And so right now I don't have anything in those collections, so I need to move the current collections that I have. And so I see Making and Medicine. I'm going to click that drop down arrow. That one is going to be moved to the Making and STEM. Promoting STEM through literature, that one also makes sense to move to Making and STEM, so I'll click on the Move button for that one. And Making and STEM at Home, I'm going to choose Making and STEM and move that one. Copyright Friendly Audio and Sound Effects, that one best fits under Tech Tools and Resources, so I'm going to move that one. Slide Templates, that one fits under Tech Tools and Resources. Copyright Friendly Images, that also is going to go under Tech Tools and Resources. Digital Whiteboards, Tech Tools and Resources. Digital Whiteboards, Tech Tools and Resources. And we're going to put Jamboard under Tech Tools and Resources. And so I still have 3 that are uncategorized. That's okay. I have some that are under Making and STEM, and some that are under Tech Tools and Resources. So at this point, I'm going to click on the Save button. And again, this is the view that the public would see. And so I now have them categorized under some different sections. Again, to reiterate that Wakelet is a free platform that allows you to save, organize, and share content from across the web and save them into collections. It is free, it is user-friendly, and the possibilities of how you use it are endless.